Always fight for our rights. Solidity forever. Fight for our rights. Solidarity forever.
During a protest march on the September 10, 2018, by the Coalition of Civil Society Organizations for Peace and Good Governance to the French Embassy to demand that it stop blocking concerted effort towards lasting peace in the Lake Chad Basin. Gentlemen of the press, you must have, like many other Nigerians, been reading about how third-party countries are the new problem in the fight to root out the lasting remnant of the Boko Haram fighter in Borno State and environ. The entire Lake Chad Basin bordering Nigeria. We said new because this information is resurfacing after some people earlier dismissed it as a conspiracy theory in the past. But this new recent report now indicate that the activities of these third-party countries must have been impossible before the birth of Boko Haram as a terrorist group. Countries that have been identified as telling the final dismiss of Boko Haram are France and its former colonies, Cameroon, Chad, and Niger. France reportedly has long-term economic and geopolitical interests that has made it an active sponsor of the carnage that was visited on the region by Boko Haram. It has done this covertly and overtly. On the one front, France tacit support for jihadists in the Middle East and the North Africa, which often involve the funneling of weapons to these terrorists in the guise of opposition fighters, has ensured that Boko Haram continues to get steady supplies of weapons and ammunition. This explains why the terrorists possess firepower that make it unnecessarily challenging for the military to flush out their remnants with the ease expected at the onset. With the way these jihadists turn around to find their way into Paris and carry out attack, these expectations are that France would have by now initiated move to support in defeating terrorism abroad, but it seems decision maker in France in that country are resolute on a bracing fire to their bosom. It is a matter of time for the flying Boko Haram terrorists that they will enter into France with Cameroon, Chadians, and the Nigerian passport and apply their trade on street of France. We hope that when that time comes, Nigeria will not be accused of being a nursery for hatching these terrorists. France has indirectly aided Boko Haram by failing to tax its allies on Nigerian border, which is the Chadians, the Cameroonians, and the Nigerians, to take action in the direction of getting rid of what is left of the Boko Haram fighters. What we have learned is that these fighters use this country as their new basis from where they travel to launch attack in Nigeria and retreat back to this country. A couple of terrorists that go to the extreme in these countries is meant to conflict the world and create the impression that they are fully in support of Nigerian war on terrorism. If they were committed to not allowing Boko Haram use their land as a basis, they would have regularly return the corpse of the fighter that retreat into their various countries. This attitude from these countries, and I'm talking about the Niger, the Cameroon, and the Cameroonians, if they've been returning the corpse or returning all of this attack that Nigeria, the way Nigeria have been attacking their forces, who have been getting support from them, even with the joint task force, by now, at least, would have been certain that enough fights would have happened. This attitude from this country, in spite of the existing collaboration that created the multinational joint military task force, which today exists merely in media report, as only the Nigerian military is doing the heavy lifting, the entire West and Central Africa would have been in a serious trouble by now, if not for the dedication of the Nigerian military. That the Nigerian military made the progress it made against Boko Haram is the face of this, in the face of this concerted sabotage, is something that it should be commended for global, as for something that is commended globally as a shining example of how a country military can summon international obstacles to defeat the enemy. What has happened instead is that the Nigerian military is being tagged for negative reports negative reporting, while the Boko Haram terrorists get positive rating. Sadly, in a charge led by the France media, which other international media are constrained to syndicate so that they would not be seen as a missing part of the action, it is curious that pro-French news wire are using their report to lie about Boko Haram being the superior force. Something unheard of in reporting terrorists versus sovereign states. We have wondered in the recent weeks what the intent of such report could be, but we no longer have to ponder, as there has been a spike in recruiting new fighters for Boko Haram from among neighboring Francophone ethnic groups that are gangorously with Nigerian ethnicities. These have been uncovered to be behind a new attempt to make it appear Boko Haram has bounced back. We know these named countries will again dismiss this accusation without marshalling facts to support their deniers. We therefore make it categorically clear through this protest that the denier without fact, to collaborate is unacceptable at this point. What is for France and its ally Cameroon, Chad, and Niger to show commitment in real time to prove that they are not shoring up Boko Haram to continue committing crimes against humanity. Our thoughts are that Nigeria must stop subsidizing these neighboring countries where they fail to play the roles they sign up for in the joint military agreement. The terrorist bases in these countries have allowed their land means that okay, for them to have allowed their land for these terrorists to be sane, it means that they have absorbed with this and they are conniving with these people. It is absorbed that we continue to prove. It is absorbed for us as Nigerians to continue to provide food to countries that turn the provision over to terrorists. Nigerian military must therefore give serious thought to curtailing the flow of food from Nigerian across border to the terrorist camp beyond our border.
Welcome to First View Luxury Hotel. At First View Luxury Hotel, we offer excellent service. Our rooms have all the necessary facilities to make your stay comfortable and memorable. You will also have access to internet service, breakfast, 24-hour power supply, full air condition, free international calls, free tire pumping service, and free car battery charge. So what are you waiting for? Quickly visit First View Luxury Hotel. We are located at #1 Adelino Bamishile off Raji Rasaki Road, First Estate, Amuwo, Odofin Festac, Lagos. For more information or reservation, please call us on 08075787135 or 08099900601. You can also take advantage of our online ongoing promo at www.firstviewhotel.com to make your reservation and payment for your favorite room, which attracts a discount rate. Please note, rooms are reserved based on first come, first serve. First View Luxury Hotel. Experience the home of comfort. They come.